Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. What if I told you that the Seahawks are potentially on the verge of making one of the most explosive moves in NFL offseason history? Rumor has it that the Minnesota Vikings, in a bit of a rebuild after a disappointing 2023 season, might be open to trading their star wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, to Seattle. And the craziest part, it could happen in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 draft. Yeah, you heard that right. A first-rounder that far out, but given the current landscape and how much Jefferson can bring to the table, it could be a game-changer for the Seahawks. Now, this rumor has been buzzing around because of how much Jefferson could transform Seattle's offense almost instantly. The Vikings, after finishing 6-11 and struggling with their offense, averaging just 215 passing yards per game, are looking to reset. They've got some cap space, around $10 million, but they're also staring down a hefty $70 million in dead money in 2026. With that in mind, they're prioritizing extending Darnold and clearing cap space by moving some high-profile players like Jefferson, who could be part of a rebuild that emphasizes draft picks and future assets. On the other hand, the Seahawks are looking to build off their 8-9 record and improve their offense significantly. Beyond DK Metcalf, Seattle's wide receivers haven't been as consistent or explosive, with some players averaging just 18 yards per route. Adding Jefferson would immediately change that dynamic. Imagine him lining up across from Metcalf, creating a nightmare for defenses, an absolute separator with elite route running, dynamic YAC, and the ability to stretch the field like few others in the league. Jefferson is a true game changer, a receiver who can cut through secondary coverages like a comet, making contested catches and turning short passes into huge gains with his YAC ability. Statistically, Jefferson's career numbers are staggering. Over his young career, he's amassed nearly 6-0 receiving yards in just 4 seasons, 598 receptions for 785 yards and 45 touchdowns. His yards per catch sit at an impressive 14.7, and his YAC total is over 980 yards, averaging 5 yards per reception after the catch. His route running is elite, with an average depth of target, ADOT, of 11.2 yards, and he maintains a PFF grade of 92.8, which is off the charts. When you combine his contested catch rate of over 60%, his ability to win in tight coverage, and his YAC, it's easy to see why he's considered one of the top receivers in the NFL. His 2025 season projections are equally impressive, with over 480 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he's healthy. No injuries after 2023. The Vikings, meanwhile, are in a bit of a tough spot. They're looking at a rebuild, and moving Jefferson could be a strategic way to reset their roster and salary cap. Plus, trading him for a first-round pick in 2026 aligns with their plan to gather assets and draft young talent. It's reminiscent of the trade that sent Stefon Diggs to the Bills back in 2020, which turbocharged their offense and turned Josh Allen into a star, boosting their passing game by over 280 yards per game that season. That kind of upgrade could be what the Vikings are aiming for again, but in this case, the Seahawks could be the team that benefits most. Now, for the Seahawks, adding Jefferson isn't just about upgrading the offense, it's about transforming their entire offensive philosophy. With a receiver like Jefferson, the Seahawks could see a jump in their projected yards per game, potentially adding over 350 yards annually to their passing attack. Plus, with Geno Smith at quarterback, who's proven to be a solid and efficient passer, Jefferson's explosiveness could translate into an 18% increase in EPA per pass. That kind of efficiency boost is huge for a Seahawks team that's been trying to establish a more dynamic aerial attack. Jefferson's contested catches and YAC numbers would give Smith more options, creating mismatches all over the field and making the Seahawks much more unpredictable. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could push the Seahawks closer to becoming a true aerial juggernaut. It's not just about adding a star receiver, it's about changing the entire offensive identity. Imagine Jefferson stretching defenses vertically and horizontally, forcing safeties to stay back and opening up lanes for Metcalf and other receivers. The Seahawks' offense would become more versatile, more explosive, and more capable of putting up big numbers against NFC opponents. And with the NFC West being highly competitive, every advantage counts. In terms of playoff implications, a move like this could significantly boost the Seahawks' chances. Their odds of winning the Super Bowl could jump from +10, 0 to +3, 500 almost overnight. Jefferson as the X factor, similar to how Randy Moss was in New England in 2007, could make that leap from a good team to a serious contender. His ability to turn red zone opportunities into touchdowns, especially in playoff situations, would make the Seahawks even more dangerous. His presence would stretch defenses and create opportunities for big plays in crucial moments, giving Seattle a true edge when it matters most. Of course, such a trade isn't without risks. The Vikings would be taking a gamble by trading away a superstar, but if they get a first-round pick in 2026 and a chance to rebuild with younger talent, it might be worth it. For Seattle, acquiring Jefferson would be a statement move, signaling that they're all in on contending now and building for a future that includes multiple Super Bowl runs. It's a bold strategy, but in today's NFL, sometimes you have to swing for the fences to truly change your destiny. This potential trade has all the hallmarks of a seismic shift in the NFC West. The Seahawks, with their talented core led by Geno Smith and Metcalf, could become a powerhouse with the addition of a player like Jefferson, who can elevate the offense to new heights. Meanwhile, the Vikings, recalibrating after a tough season, look to be making strategic moves to ensure they're competitive again in the future. It's a fascinating storyline, one that has fans on the edge of their seats, imagining how this could reshape the division and the conference as a whole. Now, it's important to remember that this is still a rumor, but one with serious legs. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and the possibility of Jefferson donning Seahawks green and blue is enough to get any fan excited. We'll be watching closely to see if this deal materializes, but if it does, the landscape of the NFC West, and perhaps the entire NFC, will be forever changed. The Seahawks are positioning themselves to be more than just contenders. They're aiming for dominance, and adding a receiver like Jefferson could be the move that cements their status as a true playoff powerhouse. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster trade? Would you be thrilled to see Jefferson in the Seahawks uniform? How do you think he'll fit into the offensive scheme, and what impact could he have on your Super Bowl hopes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the Seahawks. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Seahawks news. Whether it's big trades, draft prospects, or game analysis, you know we're all in this together, rooting for our Seahawks to bring home that next Super Bowl trophy. Let's keep that passion alive, and as always, go Hawks.